Yeah, just a brief overview. We're on 10 acres, extends from Route 7 to the back North Main here, and then we lease the bottom 3 that are down over there for pasture for our animals. We have about 2 acres under cultivation for beyond organic vegetables, and then we also raise pastured heritage chickens and turkeys and pigs. And we breed our turkeys and pigs. They're heritage breeds that are considered endangered by the Livestock Breeds Conservancy, and we're trying to kind of bring them back and preserve their genetics, while also reintroduce people to what food used to be, how turkey and chicken used to taste before Cornish cross and broad-breasted white. So we've been working the land slowly for 20 years, but really intensively for more like the last 7 or 8. Gradually improving what we have. This was all overgrown. Just the little area around the house was mowed, and then everything else was kind of grown up, and so we found there's junkyards and things scattered all over the place, and had to get that all cleaned up. So we are in a permanent raised bed system for our vegetables. We use organic practices. We're not certified organic. We also use biodynamic, and we've incorporated some permaculture aspects into what we do as well. As we walk around, I'll kind of talk about how we establish things. Yeah, we have basically 6 different plots. Because we're on a hill like this, and we don't have one beautiful, nice, flat area, we've had to kind of develop where we can. There's some terrace beds over there we'll be looking at, and little plots all over. And it's gradually kind of grown as we've gone. So what's interesting to note is how the quality of the produce changes depending on how long the soil has been worked, and the practices that we've used as we went along. When we first started out, we knew we'd never be, well, we didn't have enough resources, and we didn't be big enough to be doing tractor farming, nor did we need that. So we use a BCS, which is a walk-behind tractor, which is really, we'll be looking at. It's very common in Europe and small bed systems.
For whatever reason, if the microbes weren't working well in the soil, or the plant wasn't healthy, and it couldn't access what it needed to make each leaf work as well as it could, it's like a solar panel working at 20% of effectiveness as opposed to 80% effectiveness. Mm-hmm. By simply adding those things to increase that photosynthetic capacity, you basically stimulate the overall process. So, right. Seems to work.
Right. What we like about the caterpillar tunnels is the ability to move them from place to place. So every year we can have them on fresh soil, and that's been just fantastic. The high tunnels, I couldn't live without them, but we're starting to have, you get a honeymoon period of like 3 years, I'd say, before you start to have some serious issues. We also have solar wrap. This is a bubble material that's been used in Germany, or it started out in Germany. It's been used in Europe for 25 years. It doesn't photodegrade, and it doesn't require a fan. This has to have a fan running basically 24/7 for most of the year to keep the plastic inflated. So the solar wrap doesn't require that. It's a static composting system, so you don't have to turn it. So yeah, within a year it breaks down, and what's different about it is that it's almost like a paste. This is more like an inoculant. So we've tried spraying this on, and we also, in the end, we ended up just taking and just like we put on our other amendments, we just distributed it across the top of our beds.
Compost that is turned, in the process of being regularly turned, functionally it does the same effect as the tillage, which is it creates a dynamic where most of the microbes in there are bacteria, not fungi. And so when you apply a bacterially dominant compost to your fields, you're not necessarily getting that fungal ecosystem that we understand correlates with carbon sequestration, et cetera, et cetera.
This is our little orchard here. We've got about 40 some odd trees. It's mixed varieties. They're all on native rootstock. None of them are dwarfs. Peaches, pears, Asian pears, apples, cherries, a couple, some chestnuts at the end. We put these in on a Burman swale, and we used a hugelculture method.
you.